Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your June 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So, let's rock and roll. Let's see what's going on here. Oh. Oh, I got some good money cards. Wow. So the heart of the matter is the Ace of Swords. This can be finally having a sense of mental clarity so that you can move forward in life and so that you can attract to yourself the things that you want because you know what you want. You know, they always talk about the law of attraction and things like that, but they don't, sometimes people don't know what they want. And that is such a big piece in it, because if you're supposed to be, you know, visualizing and all this stuff, what are you visualizing? You might not know what you want because you were never encouraged to, you know, follow your dreams. Most people are not, let's face it. It just isn't like that. We're kind of taught that we have to be in survival mode all the time. And so it's really great when you can step into this feeling of, hey, I can make my dreams come true because I know what I want, and it's really like the path is clear to me and I'm clearing it more every day. And so maybe that is how you feel. Oh, this is interesting. Now, this is the past position, the Fool card. Now, the Fool card is about starting a new journey. You see, the person has a knapsack. It's a very small kind of, what do you call it? Like, you know, bag, very, very light baggage. And that's supposed to symbolize that the person is not really weighed down by anything heavy, that they're just kind of traveling light. Now, the other thing that this can represent is doing your own thing, being unconventional, not like following the crowd. But this card is connected to the planet Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus. And so as a card of the past position, what this says to me is that this transit of Uranus in Taurus, which is lasting a total of about 7 years, is starting to really work its magic on you. And so with the Ace of Swords, Taurus, you can see how you don't have to follow what has been laid before you. And this can, you know, run the gamut, whether it means you don't, let's say that you're getting married or or moving in with someone. You may say, you know what, I don't want to get married. I realized I don't want to be as traditional as I thought that I had to be. Or I don't want to stay married. Even though my whole family, that's, you know, what they've done, even if they've been unhappy, I can choose to you know, let this person go in love. And I'm not going to drag them through the coals, rake them through the coals because, you know, it didn't work out. Even if that person cheated on me, I'm going to just like be gracious, and I'm going to leave gracefully from that situation, exit gracefully, and go on my new journey. And I totally see what has happened. I'm not in denial anymore. At one time I was. At one time I was pretending this never happened. Or you can see like your own behavior, how you tend to be possessive, you know, the kind of things that Taurus is known for. You know, I have Taurus rising and I have the sun in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is supposed to be a sign that is very in love with freedom. But I can tell you, if you have a planet in Taurus, so if you're a Sag and you have the moon in Taurus or Taurus rising, you are going to likely be jealous, possessive, regardless. And it might even be one of these things where you just are saying, don't be that to me, and yet you're that way to the other person. In other words, hypocrisy. I think that's what that's called. So what I'm saying is that I understand, and I understand where possessiveness originates from. It originates from insecurity and this belief that there is a limited amount of love in the world. There's a limited amount of, in the case of greed that can come over some Taurians, a limited amount of resources. Whatever it is that you feel like you have to possess, you are the second house of possessions, of the money that you earn. So saying, that's my such and such, that's my car, that's my house, that's my, whatever, comes naturally to a Taurus person. What I would like you to think of more and more, and maybe you're going to detach more and more, is this idea of ownership being like an illusion. Because even your own house, even if you have paid your the total mortgage and you have the whatever they give you that says you own the house, you're going to be evicted from that house. Because you're going to be evicted from your body one day. Even your body you can't own forever. So the point is that being totally free means that we have that sense of understanding the temporal nature, the temporary nature of existence. Our souls are hard drives. Our souls live forever. Okay, that's a given. But the body is temporary. So anything that we are clinging to that has a material nature, we have to realize that is fruitless. That doesn't mean that we have to be a beggar out on the street and have a begging bowl like a wandering, what's it called, a mendicant? I don't know. The Buddhists that go around with the begging bowl, we don't have to do that either. Can have like a middle ground, but anyway, they said that Buddha was a Taurus, and Buddha was born wealthy. So Buddha found the middle path between extreme poverty and extreme wealth. And so he saw both of those as traps. So anyway, embracing your own path and walking it, that's how I see the Ace of Swords. It's like an arrow. It's like walking your path. The higher message is the Four of Swords. So to me, this can be really talking about rest, rejuvenation, and reflection. 3 R's. And this may be something that you need, something that you've experienced that has helped you to get to where you are right now. And it's what it means to me is that when you take time for yourself, and this may be something that you can do or that you should do regularly, maybe once a day, once a week, where you take time, maybe go into nature and you're just unplugging from electronics and tuning into your higher self, or even just tuning into your body, tuning into your thoughts. The number 4 is about organization and stability and stabilizing things. The swords represent communication, but also thoughts. So organizing your thoughts. Meditation, a lot of times, is turning off your thoughts to the best of your ability, or you could say to gain control of your thoughts, where you are the master of your thoughts and not the other way around, that your thoughts don't control you, you control them. And so that can also be indicative of what this card represents. But, we have 2 swords cards on the top tier there. And being that June is dominated with Gemini energy, which is connected to the swords, that can just be that really like looking at what your thoughts represent, maybe affirmations that you need to say when you are alone to kind of boost the positive thoughts so that you are not replaying old tapes, can be very helpful for you. What crosses you is the Three of Pentacles. Now, in the upright position, the Three of Pentacles can be a card of really cooperating with others on a project. It's a money card. It's the architect's card in terms of building your life one step at a time. In the challenge position, you may feel like, I'm thinking with some Taurus people, that you don't have that sense of everything falling into place at this moment. And you know what? That is actually okay, because Taurus is a fixed sign, and Taurus tends to do things by rote. You tend to do things very consistently for sure, but maybe repetitively. So if you have kind of found that something has changed in your life, whether it's your routine, your daily routine, or, if some major life change has occurred, and believe me, Taurus, here's a spoiler alert, this is going to happen. This is kind of a foreboding of what is going to happen starting this November, when you're going to start to have eclipses in your sign. So if you haven't experienced it already with Uranus, because Uranus is still in an earlier degree of Taurus, so maybe it hasn't crossed into your first house if you're Taurus rising. Maybe it's still in the 12th. Or if your sun is in Taurus, it hasn't formed a conjunction with your sun sign because you're like 20 degrees of Taurus or whatever, and it's only right now probably about 9 or 10 degrees or 11 degrees. It's going to get there eventually, and you're going to feel it more. And the point is that a Taurus person, I always want to say these things that come into my mind in case they resonate with any of you, but sometimes they're a little, I don't know, controversial. But I was going to say moving your food dish. If somebody moves your food dish, Taurus, that can kind of unnerve you. That can throw you off. If there is an event that occurs that makes you have to change something, because it's just not something that you like. You want to have that kind of, I was going to say consistency, but constancy. You like that. Now, continuity, that was the word I was looking for. And yet, if life is about expansion, growth can only come when we introduce new things into it on a regular basis. If we keep doing the same old, we keep getting the same old. And you might say, I want to get the same old, but that's a very comfortable tomb. It's not about growing. And so welcome change wherever you find it. If you feel like thrown off kilter, acknowledge that you're thrown off kilter and find new ways to stabilize yourself. Grounding. You're like pretty grounded. You're a pretty solid citizen. But it may be that sometimes you feel a little bit ungrounded. Maybe you just need to go barefoot in a park that doesn't have pesticides in it. I'm lucky, and you can tell. I think usually you can tell if there's clover, if there's what we would call quote unquote weeds, that you'll know that it's not being treated. But you also have to make sure it doesn't have glass. That's the thing. But that's one method of grounding. There's actually a website called grounding.com, I think, where it can tell you other methods of grounding. So you do have to be safe and take into account our modern day world. But yeah, things that can keep you on an even keel. What is coming in is the Temperance card. Talk about an even keel. So we have the foot in the water representing the spirit and the foot on the land representing the earth or the material. This is connected to Sagittarius. And actually, let me think, because we did have an eclipse in Sagittarius. And so this for you would have been your is it eighth house? Yeah, eighth house. So you had the Sagittarius eclipse in your eighth house. Of course, I am Sag rising, and this actually occurred in my seventh house because I have a late degree. I mean, I said Sag, I meant Taurus rising. I'm a Taurus rising, and it was in my seventh house. So some of you who have a later degree, a lot of you, this may have actually occurred in your seventh house. So if it was in your seventh house, this lunar eclipse, this could have been a relationship issue. And I had such a positive result with relationship, but it did bring up a lot for me. This was pretty intense. So I don't know how it worked out for you, Taurus. For you very early degree ones, it might have been intense because it would have been your eighth house and brought up the shadow side of things. So the point is that Temperance is about that even keel that I'm talking about. And it's about engaging life as a multidimensional being. That's how I see it anyway. And, we have this angel, but the angel is, in the world. Are you an angel in the world? Are you able to tap into your spiritual side and see it everywhere around you? And at the same time, do what you need to do on the physical level. A lot of Taurus people are very acclimated to the physical, and they have a lot of common sense, and then they get lost in the world. So you don't want to get lost in the world. You want to be able to use the tools of this world to be able to grow as you want to grow, but then by the same token, to know that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. That you're not just here for, going shopping or, all of these things that I hope, did I get some of you guys, going on shopping sprees, but that you have this beautiful energy to share with the world. And some of that can be as almost like a shaman, that you can really connect deeply to the natural world, being an earth sign. So that's another thing about taking that connection to the earth and helping to heal others in whatever way that comes about. If you love food, can you, make nutritious, kind of like consciousness raising foods? The outcome is the Six of Pentacles. I hear the lawnmower going, I'm going to get this done, get her done. This is about give and take of energy. So the material energy in particular. And I feel like this is a spiritual reading, even though half of the not half of the cards, a couple of the cards are pentacles. I feel like this is about your development, Taurus, as somebody who is navigating this life and trying to find your way. And I feel like you are finding your way. You're breaking free of other people's expectations, societal expectations, maybe becoming a little bit more unconventional, which never hurt anyone. You know how like some people try too hard to be a rebel and things like that? You're the kind of person that might kind of look at somebody kind of funny when they break free from people the way that they're dressed. I'm not saying all Taurus people, so please don't don't write to me and tell me that you have pink hair or something like that. I'm not really talking about that. But some of you may not trust people who you think are trying too hard to be different. And yet, that might be one extreme where people are like kind of contrived in doing that. But the other extreme is being a stick in the mud and not being, I think the British use the word stodgy, being kind of like stuck in a rut and not willing to try new things. And so we want to find that sweet spot in between. And the Six of Pentacles to me is about the give and take with others and even life itself, nature itself, that exchange of energy. And seeing, the material, we always can say, tit for tat. I give you this, you give me that, and if it's of equal value, then we're good, we're tight. You know what I mean? But beyond that, just like something, an example. This is just an example. Sometimes I see people, and they're like just picking up trash by the forest preserve or something like that. Now they're not working for the forest preserve, but they don't like litter, and they're doing something about it. Now, sometimes I think, well, that's not your job. Let them go complain to them and let them do their job. Their county isn't doing their job. But, some people just take it upon themselves, and that is their contribution. And so not expecting that you're going to get that tit for tat, that you're contributing because you can. And that's like that coming from this place of generosity and this spirit, and that life gives back to you automatically. It can't help but do that. So, this reading to me is more about an attitude than anything else. I hope that this resonated, Taurus. If you would like a personal reading, I'm primarily an astrologer, and I do like to look at the chart because I think it really can hone in on certain things. And so if you click the link below, you can find out more about my readings. Have a great month. Take care. Bye.